The woods have always held a certain mystique, a darkness that lingers just beyond the light of the setting sun, a quiet so profound, it hums in your ears. Within these shadowy depths where ancient trees stand as silent sentinels, whispers of another world bleed into our own. Stories told in hushed tones around crackling fires passed down through generations, warn of the spirits that dwell within. These are not tales for the faint of heart. These are the stories of ghost infestations and the terrifying sightings that leave an indelible mark on the soul. Deep within these haunted woods, where shadows dance and leaves rustle with unseen hands, lies a terror more profound than any campfire story could convey. The very air hangs heavy with the weight of unseen eyes, watching, waiting. The forest floor creaks and groans under the pressure of ghostly footsteps, and as the sun begins its final descent, casting long, eerie fingers of light through the dense canopy, the line between our world and the next begins to blur. Ghost infestations are not for the faint of heart. They are not mere hauntings, where a spectral figure might appear fleetingly before vanishing into the ether. No, these are something far more insidious. They are a pervasive, suffocating presence that seeps into the very fabric of a place, twisting and contorting it into something unsettling and wrong. Homes become prisons, their walls seemingly closing in, as an unseen force torments those trapped within. A chill permeates the air, clinging to the skin like an icy shroud, no matter the season. The scent of damp earth and decay lingers, a constant reminder of the unseen world pressing against our own. Objects move with no explanation, doors slam shut with bone-jarring force. Whispers slither through the darkness, disembodied voices that speak of unspeakable horrors. But it is the feeling of being watched, of being stalked by something unseen just beyond the periphery, that truly sets the nerves on edge. Then, there are the trees, silent giants, their branches stretching towards the heavens like skeletal arms. In the cold light of day, they might appear majestic, awe-inspiring in their ancient wisdom, but under the cloak of night, they transform into something altogether more sinister. Their bark, gnarled and twisted by time, seems to writhe and pulse with an unseen life. The leaves rustle and whisper, even in the absence of wind, carrying with them the murmured secrets of the dead. Some trees bear the mark of their ghostly inhabitants, faces contorted in eternal screams, etched into the bark as if burned there by an unseen fire, eyes that seem to follow your every move, peering out from the knots and hollows. To stand before such a tree is to feel a profound sense of unease, a primal fear that sinks its teeth into the very core of your being. The woods are alive with stories of those who dared to venture too close to these haunted trees. They speak of being drawn in by an unseen force, compelled to touch the grotesque forms that stare back at them. Some claim to have felt an icy touch, like the hand of death itself, brush against their skin. Others describe a searing pain, as if branded by an invisible iron. The unfortunate few who have found themselves lost in the woods at night, seeking shelter under the twisted branches of a haunted tree, often meet with a far more gruesome fate. They vanish without a trace, their screams swallowed by the unforgiving darkness. Their fate's a chilling reminder of the power that these haunted woods hold. Some whisper that they are consumed by the trees themselves, their life force absorbed into the ancient roots. Others believe they become trapped, their souls forever bound to the forest, doomed to wander its shadowy paths for all eternity. Section 5. The Unseen Observers. The most terrifying aspect of these ghost infestations and haunted trees is the sense of being observed. It begins as a subtle unease, a prickling at the back of your neck. You might catch a flicker of movement in the corner of your eye, but when you turn to look, there's nothing there. Footsteps echo behind you, only to fade into silence when you stop to listen. Shadows seem to dance and shift at the edge of your vision, taking on vaguely humanoid forms that vanish when you try to focus on them. It's enough to make you doubt your own sanity. Is it your imagination running wild, fueled by the stories and the oppressive atmosphere? Or is there truly something out there, watching your every move, waiting for the perfect moment to strike? This constant state of hypervigilance wears at the mind, fraying the nerves and leaving you feeling perpetually on edge. Section 6. A Place of Dread. There is a particular forest, nestled deep in the Appalachian Mountains, that has become synonymous with these terrifying tales. Locals refer to it only as the Devil's Spine, a name whispered in hushed tones if at all. It is a place of imposing beauty, its slopes cloaked in a dense canopy of ancient trees that seem to reach for the heavens with twisted, gnarled branches. Sunlight struggles to penetrate the thick foliage, casting the forest floor in perpetual twilight. The air hangs heavy with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves, a cloying perfume that clings to the back of the throat. It is a place of profound stillness, where the only sounds are the whisper of the wind through the trees and the occasional unsettling crack of a branch underfoot. But beneath the surface beauty lies a palpable sense of dread. It is a place where the veil between our world and the next feels thin, as though it could be torn asunder at any moment. Section 7. The Weight of Eyes. Those who have dared to venture into the Devil's Spine speak of a feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes tracking their every move. They describe a coldness that seeps into their bones, a bone-chilling fear that grips them like a vice. There are stories of hikers stumbling upon clearings where the very air feels thick with malevolence, the ground littered with the bones of animals picked clean and arranged in strange ritualistic patterns. Others whisper of ghostly figures flitting through the trees, their forms shifting and swirling like smoke on the wind. They are said to be the spirits of those who died within the forest, their souls forever bound to the place where they met their end. Whether these stories are true or merely the product of overactive imaginations, one thing is certain: the Devil's Spine is a place of undeniable power, a place where the laws of nature seem to bend and break. Section 8. Twisted by nature, haunted by memories. One particular tree, known as the Widow's Weeping, stands at the heart of the Devil's Spine. Its trunk is massive, gnarled and twisted, as though frozen in a perpetual dance of agony. Its branches reach out like skeletal arms, draped in long, trailing vines that resemble tangled hair. Local legend claims that the tree is haunted by the spirit of a woman who hanged herself from its branches centuries ago, driven to despair after the death of her husband. They say that if you listen closely on a still night, you can hear the faint sound of her weeping echoing through the trees. Some claim that the tree's sap drips like tears, staining the ground beneath it a deep, rusty red. Others whisper that the widow's weeping is a conduit to the other side, a place where the veil between worlds is thinnest. They say that if you dare to stand beneath its branches at midnight and call out to the widow, she will answer. But be warned, her answer may not be what you expect. Section 9. The Ghosts of the Forest. What is it about these haunted forests and ghostly trees that so captivates our imaginations? Perhaps it is the primal fear of the unknown, the darkness that lurks just beyond the edge of our campfire light. Or maybe it is the allure of the other side, the tantalizing possibility of glimpsing a world beyond our own. Whatever the reason, these stories serve as a chilling reminder that we are not alone in this world, that there are forces at work beyond our comprehension, and that sometimes the line between our reality and the realm of the supernatural blurs, revealing glimpses of something both terrifying and awe-inspiring. As we gather around our fires sharing these tales in hushed tones, we are reminded of our own mortality, of the fragility of the veil that separates us from the unknown, and we are left to wonder, with a shiver of both fear and fascination, what might be lurking just beyond the edge of the light. Section 10. Trapped between worlds. There are those who believe that these ghost infestations and haunted trees are not malevolent entities, but rather trapped souls seeking release. They say that these spirits are caught between worlds, unable to move on to the next life due to unfinished business or a traumatic death. According to this belief, the strange occurrences associated with these hauntings are not meant to harm, but rather to communicate. They are desperate pleas for help, cries for recognition from beyond the grave. Some even claim to have made contact with these spirits, acting as intermediaries to help them find peace and move on. They speak of intense emotional encounters, of helping the spirits to resolve past traumas and let go of the earthly tethers that bind them to our world. Whether these claims are true or simply wishful thinking, they offer a glimmer of hope in the face of the terrifying unknown. Section 11. The forest holds its breath. As the sun sets on the horizon, casting long, eerie shadows across the land, and the forest prepares for its nightly slumber, one thing is certain: the stories of ghost infestations and haunted trees will continue to be told. They are woven into the very fabric of our folklore, passed down through generations, a chilling reminder of the mysteries that lie hidden in the shadows. So the next time you find yourself walking through the woods at night, listen closely to the whispers of the wind through the trees. Pay attention to the shadows that dance at the edge of your vision, and if you feel a sudden chill run down your spine or hear a branch snap under an unseen footfall, remember, you are not alone. The forest holds its breath, watching, waiting, and within its shadowy depths, the line between our world and the next is thin indeed.